it's me, your Femboy, and do you remember Drawn to Life? This is a very old DS game that I feel like was kind of dismissed as being like a Scribblenauts clone. I feel like a lot of people my age who didn't play it think that when they see the cover and the gameplay, but there's so much in here that Scribblenauts like just did not have. It is such a unique, fun experience that if you'd liked to be creative as a kid, like me, then absolutely you probably spent countless hours designing your hero designs, your weapons, platforms, and probably just enjoying like the music. It's so vibey. The critter designs also for the sort of the people that make up the world of Drawn to Life are adorable. They're called Raposa, and I'll go into detail so much more later about them, but all you need to know is that they're baby and they're really baby. They're just little tiny babies with itty bitty baby bodies. So that's all you need to know right now. Also, this game is just really cute. And like, yeah, it's just really cute. It's surprisingly dark, like way darker than I remember. And that's why I wanted to sort of share some of the things I've experienced with this game, the memories I grew up with, and maybe some things about the game too. So that way, maybe if you're not that familiar, we can at least kind of enjoy it like together. So yeah, if you want to dive into a world of cute little fox critters, looming darkness, and like some of the most cripplingly sad endings in any kids game I've ever seen, I hope you enjoy it with me. Without further ado, let's talk about the super forgotten and mega underrated DS classic together. In Drawn to Life, you play as a hero trying to save these little adorable foxy baby critters from a mysterious, edgy fox baby critter in his army of darkness. It's basically a platformer where you play as a hero protecting a small helpless people from evil. That sounds kind of familiar, right? The difference though with Drawn to Life is in this one you can actually draw the hero yourself, which is super cool. And you don't only just draw the hero, you can draw different platforms, weapons, and like other fun stuff that your hero actually uses to defeat the darkness, and in the end of the day, to save the city. So those little fox critters I mentioned, they're called Raposa, or Rapos for short. The Raposa are super cute fox people with these little chibi baby bodies. You only really meet a couple of them at the start, but there are a ton you rescue on your adventures. Each Raposa you take home like all have their own adorable little look and quirk and like little like accessories and stuff that make them special. The village starts off pretty small, but the more Rapos you rescue, the more villagers you get, and then the more little stores and shops and stuff open in that village too. You play as the creator, and you use your stylus to draw whatever the little Raposa and their not so little village need. You start by drawing some basic things to test out your new skills as the creator. Like you draw a planet, a forest, and even the Raposa themselves. Unfortunately, it does kind of pull a Deltarune and just throws out your creations for their pre-made design instead. But you know, maybe that's okay. Knowing how kids are, it probably was a good idea to have itty bitty fox babies for Raposa, and not like anything inappropriate. Even if you don't want to draw yourself, that's okay. The game has pre-made patterns, stamps, and it has whole designs too that you could just plop in and edit whatever you like. You could just fill it in with a paint bucket, put a little smiley face, a little dot dot smile, and you're good to go. Like nothing too fancy really needs to be done. And you can honestly make it as fancy as you want to. And I think that's what's really fun, because even if you're not super creative minded, the game doesn't punish you for it. There's plenty of ways to express yourself without needing to be fancy pants about it. The actual meat of the game is a platformer. It's pretty simple, but as someone who really doesn't like platformers in the first place, I don't mind that. On your little adventures, you squash mean shadow beasties, or you shoot bats with various types of guns,
and other weapons, but mostly guns. Between all the shadow slaughter, you collect coins to buy cute stuff from stores. And as well as murder, you also rescue little rappos in their not so little cages to bring back to the village. You might also find pages torn from the Book of Life, which you use to craft new recipes that you can draw. Most of the levels are like this, but you do go to several different and cute worlds to vary up your rescue missions. The ones I really remember are the ice and forest world, but there's also a tropical and a city one too. Each world comes with its own big boss, which I remember having a really hard time against when I was baby. Honestly though, even with the platforming skills I have now, I doubt anything would really change. The story isn't anything too crazy either, but it's really charming, and even as a baby, it kept my interest, which is really saying something, because back then, if it didn't have dinosaurs, Pokemon, or blue hedgehogs included, it was no good. You basically, in the story, take the role of drawing Jesus, who uses your divine powers to save the Raposa's village. Some noticeable characters that gave me a huge surge of nostalgia when I replayed this was the main Rappos and the big bad. There's also a Rappo who's like a half shadow or something, but she's a real cutie either way. So to go more in depth about the plot and the story, it boils down to this. Town was perfect, everyone was happy, until Meanie Pants Big Bad decided to literally try and play God, and he used the Book of Life for himself. It goes bad because of course it does. What did he think would happen? And it causes him to get all shadowy and evil, and the town to be overrun by this new darkness. After you create the hero to save the fox babies and clean up the mess, some noticeable other fun events happen too. Some like cute things, like a little festival in the village, and there's also, you open up a lot of fun shops, and you even open up a restaurant. Some not so cute things that happen too is needing to save your friends from trying to play that hero themselves. You lose the Book of Life for a little bit, and some friends we make along the way do end up getting hurt. Thankfully though, a cute game like this does have a very cute, happy ending. I would have cried if any of our adorable little Rappos didn't make it to the end, or something crazy happening, like the evil and Hey, so editing Bork here. I was wrong when I did the original voiceover. I forgot this game does not have a very good ending. I always thought as a kid that when you see the mayor and you just chilling up there, that he was alive. I was always like, oh, the mayor's alive. Like everything's all better. But nope, he's dead. I just didn't remember it right. So that's totally my bad. Cutesy game, not so cutesy ending. A little sad, but gosh, it gets so much sadder. Just you wait. Anyway, I found some fun facts that I wanted to share about Drawn to Life, so here you go. In Japan, apparently the game is called Drawn to Life, God's Marionette, which is such a cool name. We totally missed out over here. They also apparently made 3 sequels, and I never knew about it. They did 2 normal sequels that you would kind of expect, but they also did a SpongeBob spin-off starring Doodlebob? That's crazy. The most recent one has way more options for hero templates and character creation too. Like you could create Santa Cat, Mummy Bear, or whatever this is. So I could go way more in depth with the series in general, but that's not really the kind of video this is. Like, you could totally talk about how, like, at the end of Drawn to Life, the next chapter, it's super heavily implied that none of this is real. Like, it's all in the head of a kid who's in a coma from a car crash. Like, And it's not just non-canon, like it actually happens. And it's super depressing. And it's crazy to me a game so wholesome and sweet would have such a like awful, like soul-crushing ending like that. I'm sure if one of those video essay YouTubers like wanted to, they could squeeze all that juicy details out of the franchise and try to paint the timeline and the hidden lore and all of that. But this is kind of meant to be more of a cutesy, hey, do you remember this cute little thing from our childhood video, and not like a deep dive, if that makes sense. So Matt Pat, if you want, this one is all for you, buddy.
So yeah, that's the end of my ADHD vent, I swear, like just that. I think it's a super cute game that really, unfortunately, is dismissed a lot, even though like clearly people must have liked it. Like they made like more than just one sequel. But that being said, I feel like, I don't know, even the newest game unfortunately just has mixed reviews on Steam, which is a bummer. But so hopefully maybe there could be one that comes around that's closer to its roots, like sort of the things I grew up with, and hopefully you did too. I would love to do more videos like this, so if there's any other sort of things that you grew up with that I might have also, then please share them below. I totally want to do this with video games, movies, toys, a whole bunch of stuff. So just as long as it's something that makes you happy from your childhood and gives you that big whoosh of nostalgia, I would love to share that with you. So yeah, I love you, I wub you, and I want to rub you too. Okay, bye.